the foreword to the book, written by the bishop. This is Bishop Michael Jackals, Bishop of Wichita in 2012. Before coming to the Diocese of Wichita as bishop in 2005, I knew nothing about Father Emil Kapaun. I had never even heard his name. I quickly learned, though, that I was in the minority. Not only in the Diocese of Wichita, where Father Kapaun was ordained and served as a priest, but also nationally, even internationally, a lot of people knew a lot about him. Indeed, there has been interest in Father Kapaun ever since the end of the Korean War, when, after learning of his death in a POW camp, soldiers began telling stories about Chaplain Kapaun. Here is one of my favorites. Before being sent to Korea while stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas, Father Kapaun was assigned to bunk with another soldier, a non-Catholic. Not wanting to have a Catholic chaplain as a roommate, the soldier objected and asked for someone else, but his request was denied. Before long, Father Kapaun won him over and received him into the Catholic Church, and even witnessed his marriage. So far, the story is only half told. The soldier and his wife were not able to have children. The doctors said that the wife had an irreversible condition that made conception impossible. After the Korean conflict, the soldier learned that Father Kapaun had died in the POW camp, and he and his wife got the idea of asking Father Kapaun to intercede before the throne of God on their behalf, so that they might have children. 3 children later, the doctors still insisted that the woman had an irreversible condition that made conception impossible. Why all the knowledge of and interest in Father Kapaun? The best answer I can think of is the attraction of his qualities of character. Father Kapaun was brave. He mocked the communist indoctrination lectures in the POW camp and calmly refuting their attacks on religion. Father Kapaun was generous. He literally carried a wounded soldier on a long, torturous forced march to the prison camp. Father Kapaun was good-natured. He worked at lifting the spirits of the POWs and giving them hope. Have faith, Father Kapaun told them. Don't give up. We'll get out of here someday. Father Kapaun was caring. He would wash the clothes and bodies of sick POWs. He would scrounge for extra food to give them, sometimes giving them something from his meager share. Father Kapaun was self-sacrificing. He was captured because he would not leave the wounded GIs, even though he had the opportunity to do so. He died on May 23rd, 1951. His death hastened by harsh treatment from his captors and by a lack of food and clothing, where he had given to other POWs much of what he had. Father Kapaun, just like every human being, including those already canonized by the Catholic Church, was not perfect. For example, he expressed a desire upon being liberated to treat a particular nasty prison commander to a kick in the bahunkas. But it is his qualities of character, seen together with his humanness, that explain why everyone is interested in and touched by the story of Father Kapaun. These are manly, even heroic qualities of character. POWs with him, whether Catholics, Protestants, Jews, Muslims, or unbelievers, non-believers, he found them to be attractive. There is, however, another layer to Father Kapaun, his motivation. That is, why he acted so bravely, generously, cheerfully, thoughtfully, sacrificially. And this can be explained by one word: Jesus. Jesus gave the gift of himself in love, as shown by his incarnation, ministering as an itinerant preacher, feeding hungry people, literally and spiritually, healing their wounds, forgiving their sins, and finally losing his life, offering it up and laying it down for others. Father Kapaun did what he did to imitate Jesus. Like Jesus, Father Kapaun even forgave those who hated him and persecuted him. He told a fellow prisoner who questioned whether they should forgive their brutal guards, quote, "Of course we should forgive them. We should not only forgive our enemies, but love them too. If we fail to forgive, we're rejecting our own faith," end quote. Later, after Father Kapaun's death, the POWs who knew him remarked that the face of Christ on the crucifix carved by a Jewish prisoner who had never met Father Kapaun, but who daily heard story after story about the priest, looked surprisingly like the face of the heroic chaplain. The prisoner who carved the cross thought that this is what Jesus must have looked like Father Kapaun. With his qualities of character and his Catholic faith, Father Kapaun was, as was said about him by his fellow POWs, and is now carved into his memorial in his hometown of Pilsen, Kansas. All man, all priest. This is why people ask Father Kapaun to pray for them, to intercede for their intentions. This is why they pray with Bob McGreevy, a survivor of the POW camp, who shortly after Father Kapaun's death cried out in his need, "Father Kapaun, help me." In fact, before he was taken away to die, Father Kapaun promised the other prisoners, "When I get up to heaven, I'll say a prayer for all of you." And to one of them who needed to straighten out his marriage upon his return home, Father Kapaun threatened that if he did not, he would come down from heaven and kick him in the, well, one can guess where. And this is also why the petition for Father Kapaun's beatification and canonization was made. For if the Catholic Church were to declare him blessed and saint, he would inspire yet more people to imitate, as he did, Jesus' gift of self in love, as well as intercede for their petitions before the Divine Majesty. And whether you know nothing about Father Emil Kapaun or have read other books or articles about him, you will be grateful that you took the time to read this one. I'm glad that I did. Bishop of Wichita, Michael O. Jackals.